Story 1. Garden, cook, draw, play video games, read comics, watch movies, travel, try new hobbies, work out more, and spend extra time spoiling my wife and pets with love and attention. Story 2. I'd probably spend a lot of time traveling, discovering new countries, and learning about other cultures. I might even take a cooking class in every place I visit. Story 3. I'd finally take up all of the hobbies I've been putting off, such as learning to play guitar or painting, and perhaps volunteer for organizations I care about. Story 4. Try every type of art. For example, pottery, oil painting, rug weaving, crochet, music production, mosaic, and printing. Travel the world. Figure out some way to regularly give back or make a difference. Story 5. Spend time with my aging parents, hang out with my siblings and partner, train for and run a marathon, lift weights, spend all day every day with my dog, and read a lot of books. Basically, all the things I do now, but more. Story 6. I would focus on being the best mom possible. Spend quality time with my kids, actually attend their school events during the day, and be there for homework or anything else they need. Cooking? Anything they want, we have the time and money. Want to try a new hobby? Let's sign up for all the extracurriculars and find what they truly love. It would be amazing to finally have the freedom to nurture them the way they deserve. Story 7. Spend more time with my level 3 autistic son and do more to supplement the wonderful 30 hours of applied behavior analysis therapy he gets per week. The guilt as a working parent is real, and I have to travel from time to time. So being able to support my wife and the therapy more when it comes to our son would probably be the biggest priority for me. Story 8. Cocaine and hookers. This question has been asked many times before, and the answer is always cocaine and hookers. The answer, my friend, is cocaine and hookers, okay? Story 9. First 2 years, I would just be playing a lot of video games, sports, and other hobbies. Probably get better at actually putting together board game nights. The goal would be to still live cheaply and get my house paid off in those first 2 years. After the house is paid off, I really do not do anything that is expensive, so I will have a lot of leftover cash every year. I would spend my time using that cash to go around helping the community. My first projects would be helping renovate the animal shelters and get them whatever they need to be successful. There is a bunch around me, and I am sure this would not be super cheap, so I expect that to last a bunch of years. Then I can find new projects after that. Story 10. Daily gym and trainer. Tempting to cook more. I already mostly cook from home, but stick to the same dishes as I cannot afford to mess it up right now. Surgery to fix some issues, travel, bless strangers more, bless my family more, get a dog, and buy more tickets to events to have more experiences. Story 11. I have lived through much, and now I think I have found what is needed for happiness. A quiet, secluded life in the country with the possibility of being useful to people to whom it is easy to do good, and who are not accustomed to have it done to them. Then work which one hopes may be of some use. Then rest, nature, books, music, love for one's neighbor. Such is my idea of happiness. And then, on top of all that, you for a mate and children, perhaps, what more can the heart of a man desire? Leo Tolstoy. Story 12. Work out without a time limit. Fully commit to proficiency in 2 other hobbies. Help friends financially. Buy a new truck. Move to Colorado. Hike the mountains around the United States and Switzerland or Austria. Join a search and rescue team. Story 13. Same as I do now, really. I only work 7 days a month, so I have a lot of free time. Hike, run, cycle, practice martial arts, read, play video games, watch TV, cook, and go on a few holidays a year. Grow fruit and vegetables and raise chickens. Story 14. I am surprised there are not communities for young retirees. Do not get me wrong. I understand it would be very niche, but I am sure there would be some legitimate interest. With that amount of money and free time, the challenge would not be finding things to do. It would be finding people to do it with. It would be nice to have a group of friends who also have that much free time and can come hang out instead of working 5 days a week. Story 15. I would look for a job that I really enjoy and only work so many hours without it becoming a commitment. I might also give myself the time to learn a new profession like goldsmithing or professional cooking. Story 16. Take my wife on lots of breakfast, lunch, and dinner dates. Buy and ride several motorcycles and mountain bikes for fun and exercise. Sort out all my Lego sets. Create and run a dog retreat and play center a couple of days per week. Volunteer at a charity like St. Vincent Delaware Paul and rejoin my local theater group. Story 17. I would travel a lot. I would live a frugal nomadic lifestyle without many possessions to tie me down, renting safe but cheap studio apartments for a year at a time in cities that interested me around the world. I would try to live on $125,000 a year and invest the rest and see how much I could make that grow until I had enough to buy my dream house in the city I fell most in love with over the years of moving around. The whole thing would take about 20 years. Then I would retire in that house, living in my favorite city for the rest of my days. Story 18. I would spend most of my days streaming movies and documentaries on various subjects. I would take my dog for daily long walks, go to the gym more, and develop my love for cooking. Story 19. Health stuff first. Then buy a nice plot of land with some large buildings for workshops. Have a tall garage with a lift, a paint booth, a metal shop, a wood shop, and an electronics shop. Invest 20 to 50% a year to pass as inheritance. Start a personal computer recycling nonprofit that buys or accepts donated old technology. Fix it up and sell it at affordable prices to people in need in the community. I'd also take in volunteers who can learn to repair items and help them get certifications or free computers in exchange for their assistance. Story 20. Go on the console repair subreddit and try to surprise as many people as I can afford with free hardware repairs. I love fixing HDMI, USB, headphone jacks, and general issues on boards. I hate charging people for it, but a man has to eat and buy equipment. Story 21. Okay, realistically, there would be an initial month of pure, unadulterated laziness. Truly mastering the art of the nap and binge-watching every single documentary on obscure topics. Then maybe I would start thinking about being productive. But seriously, the guilt-free leisure time would be glorious. Anyone else with me on the first month of doing absolutely nothing plan? Story 22. A dream come true would be to dedicate the rest of my life to making this small village north of Montreal into a place where people grow and do good in the world, instead of being 3 to 4 generations deep in welfare and crime. Story 23. That's a significant amount of money in Alaska. So much so that I can use it to make multiple investment accounts. Let each one grow to about $500,000 and then give it away. At that point, each account can return about $20,000 to $30,000 a year while still putting some of that back into each account to keep it growing. Then, when I feel like it, I can find people who work hard and get nowhere to give an account to. I won't make random people rich, but having an extra $20,000 a year is an incredible enabler. Story 24. Start by traveling more, relaxing, and learning new skills like languages and music with the help of tutors. After that, I would volunteer or work with a nonprofit organization where my efforts actually make a difference, instead of just feeding into profit for profit's sake. Story 25. I make $250,000 a year for free, keep living my life like the way I am, but spend more freely and travel to rock hunt. Also, build a home to die and rest in, and then hopefully have someone take all my stuff and enjoy it. Then make sure I'm cremated. Whatever I can do, honestly. Story 26. Play video games for 6 hours a day and help people for 10 hours a day. Probably foster kids and combine the two. Playing video games and helping kids 24 hours a day. Story 27. Clean up and organize the house so there is structure. Then hire a cleaning and gardening service to maintain it. Invest in myself physically and emotionally. Fix my car because it's getting old. What do you mean 2010 is 15 years ago? Then follow some courses to learn new crafts. Story 28. Volunteer in schools to share wisdom and knowledge. Clean the streets and refrain from complaining while doing so. Donate half of it to help valuable organizations fighting cancer. Story 29. This is basically me, plus or minus depending on investment income. I travel a little but mostly stay home with my dog and my partner. I build stuff, read, garden, teach myself skills, Fix old cars I buy on Craigslist, then sell for a loss and play video games. Story 30. I would prioritize my health, return to university part-time, and practice Counter-Strike 2. I'd probably buy a car and a house before anything else since I won't be able to afford either one for who knows how long. Story 31. I would probably travel a lot. I love reading and going down rabbit holes. I could see myself just deciding to visit Machu Picchu or some cool destination I came across online. Story 32. Depends, do I get to move from where I live now? If not, I'd still have to work. $250,000 isn't enough for a bank to grant a mortgage here. If I can move, then I'd pick my wife and all our things and move up to the Pacific Northwest, buy some amazing cabin around Mount Baker, buy some stuff I'd need for the Pacific Crest Trail and Continental Divide Trail, and play the waiting game to get a permit. I'd build a small recording studio and take some actual guitar lessons so I can stop self-teaching. Build a modest gaming man cave. I'd upgrade some stuff I have now, but my personal computer is actually current generation, so there's no reason to start a new build. Something along the lines of 3 240Hz 1440p monitors, a new full ATX case because I'm an idiot, and pick up a new graphics processing unit. Not that my 3070 Ti is lacking, but more for future-proofing. Read. 5. Hike and camp whenever and wherever. 6. Take up some new hobbies like woodworking, blacksmithing, gardening, learning to become more self-sustaining, bushcrafting. 7. Enjoy a peaceful life. Story 33. Probably just quit school and become an emergency medical technician. Could always go back later. Is what I want to do anyway, so even though I wouldn't need the money, I still want to help people and save lives. Story 34. I tie-dye stuff, shirts, hoodies, and things. I'd give them to my friends and family. I'd take the extras and practice pieces to festivals and give them away. I'd slowly get better over time until I could make one of those tapestries with the cool geometric design I've seen before, the one that looks like a flower. Story 35. Is it people who do not like their choice of work who assume that being financially free means lots of free time? Or the unempowered? I am trying to get a sense of it. Story 36. Fix up the Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40i inherited. Buy a little fixer-upper house and build it the way I want. Build a nice little shop to tinker on projects and finally pursue welding. So many unrealized dream projects. Story 37. Travel the world learning different local natural building techniques and playing with local archery, weaving, and textile traditions. Ride horses, go to the doctor and dentist. When I need to slow down a bit, maybe volunteer and teach people the knowledge I've accumulated. Try to be of service in some way wherever I am. Story 38. My mother inherited her mother's small house. It has fallen into disrepair and needs a lot of work. I will spend the next few years improving it and making it a Brazilian country-style home filled with plants, flowers, edible plants, and fruit trees. Story 39. I would not do anything differently than I do now. I would simply have more money, but as it stands, I already maintain a balance between my employment and taking time for myself to enjoy my hobbies and spend time with my wife. Story 40. Study history and become a leading expert in a very niche area. Like I am the guy cable news network calls when they need to know if the Ainu women in Japan traditionally wore open-toe shoes in November. Story 41. Art, hobbies, spend more time with my kids, family, and friends, keep my house cleaner and do more work to upgrade and repair it. Travel some, read more books. I would not get bored if that's what you're checking. Story 42. Delve deep into my hobbies. Do-it-yourself keyboards, fountain pens, cars, and video games. Perhaps even pick up programming again just as a hobby, and let my soon-to-be wife be a stay-at-home wife or stay-at-home mom, as that would definitely be enough to live comfortably without her working. Story 43. I would fill the time with a project I can devote a lot of time to, which I can't right now due to work taking up my time. I would probably start a YouTube channel or something to share with the world, whether it be a subject that I am passionate about or something more personal. Story 44. I would travel, take photos of animals during my travels, read more, write about my travels, build a beautiful timeless wardrobe with carefully selected pieces from around the world, buy an English Cocker Spaniel to take with me around the world, hire a personal trainer to teach me how to achieve my fitness goals on the go, and take cooking classes in all the countries I travel to. Along the way, I would start some kind of travel blog or vlog to share my experiences and photos. Then I would start a business after gaining infinite wisdom from meeting so many interesting people all over the world. I would eventually write a book too. All I'm missing are interesting stories and experiences really. What a nice dream. Thanks, original poster. Story 45, multiple things. I would learn more skills, useful skills. For example, I know how to repair walls and do a lot of plumbing and electrical work and things about cars, but not everything. I would want to learn more. I would catch up on reading and writing. Yes, I write. Since I was in second grade, I never have time for that. I would have more time for family activities with my children. If I had that much money, I could actually afford a TV subscription. I don't know which one, but I would get one and then binge watch something. I don't know what I would watch either, but I would binge watch it for sure. I would also have more time to make the family homemade Christmas gifts. I try, but usually I only get one family member a year. For example, I will crochet a blanket, except I do about 10 feet by 6 feet. I want to make sure they're big enough. Takes a while and I just don't have spare time. But I would make sure every family member got something every year. I would probably fill some of my time either with working or volunteering. You said we didn't have to work, but not that we couldn't. I've also always wanted to own or work in a bakery. I'm not skilled enough, but hey, maybe I could learn. Probably not due to brain damage, but I can dream. At the very least, I can go back to making my custom double-layer pumpkin pie cheesecake. Every year people ask me about it, but since I make it from actual pumpkins I cook and from scratch, it takes me about 3 hours per pie and a lot of money. I would probably get a gym membership. One of the nice ones, like with the pool and the steam room and stuff. A lot of health issues keep me from working out, but I could at least walk on a treadmill and hang out there or something, I don't know.